me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
The 49ers got the hat on, and I want to say thank you to the 49ers for the invitation, for the, celebrating me on the field at the Washington Commanders game. Very great, very nice, a lot of pictures. Mike, let me just say, it's crazy when you hear 60,000 people cheering for you. Now, maybe they're really cheering for 49ers, and I just happen to be there, but when they said my name, they cheered. And some people actually say street soldiers. And I'm gonna tell you, Mike, you don't know this. They gave me as a gift for all the work that, it's like, whatever. Over the years, they gave me some money to the club, but they also gave me, and you didn't even know this, 2 tickets to the Super Bowl.
Wow. So who you taking?
2 tickets to the Super Bowl. 2 tickets. So my first thing is, maybe I should just donate to the club and his brother. And everybody said, no, you got to go. You'll never go nowhere. You never do nothing. Everybody knows you don't take a vacation. Dr. Marshall, you need to go to the Super Bowl. And he says, then the 49 says, plus I need the names of the people by the end of the week. So without revealing, number 2, they have already, I will just say this, they have already booked my flight and my hotel to the Super Bowl. So the prayer is that the Niners make it to the Super Bowl and Doc will be there. So got my 49er hat on. That's why I'm attired the way I am tonight. 49er hat, tribute to Pele. And all right, Malcolm, you want to say something? No? Is he in? You can?
I'm right here. What's up, Doc?
Audio. He's in. Go ahead.
What's up, Doc?
Say something.
How you doing, sir?
There you are. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Happy New Year.
Hey, Lady E, love you. Happy New Year to you.
Love you too, baby.
And that was a long, well, first let me say 60,000 people are cheering for me in my head all the time. That's just kind of how I get through life,
now,
But it must have been pretty cool to experience it in the
they gave
realm.
passes to the field. I'm on the field. It's incredible. Box the whole bit. It was just magnificent.
It is such a gift and a blessing to be recognized, acknowledged, and recognized for the difference that you make in the lives of people. There are so many spoken, unspoken, sung, unsung heroes who work hard every day, touching and making a difference in the lives of young people, sacrificing themselves in all sorts of things. And to be recognized for that is such a blessing. So congratulations to you, Dr. Marshall, for having that experience, and to the 49ers for selecting you.
It was
And the
surreal.
Alignment Trio Make a Boys Club. Yeah.
I always say you don't do work for things. You don't do work for celebration, but it's nice to get it right. But this was surreal. This is just different. I mean, like, I've been it was amazing. And I forgot I was gonna say something else. So would you say it? You can talk now. I just lost my train of thought.
I just want to say that Lady E's Kansas City Chiefs got a chance to be in there too. So we'll just have to see how it
You know, I
unfolds.
was good. I was just waiting for
So it's gonna be
hoopla to die
it's
down
gonna
about
be
the
me
49ers.
against you,
I
man.
know you ain't forgot about
Yes,
the Chiefs.
Kansas
Me against
City.
you.
No, I
Me
haven't
against
forgotten
you.
about
Me
the
against
Chiefs.
you.
I'm a Kansas City girl.
And I will say this: our guest here tonight will understand this. I don't do social media. I don't have any Facebook now, but I do post just to myself and on LinkedIn. And when I post, it's just about the organization or the show, right? Or the achievements of the young people, or sometimes post on alumni. But this time I post this thing about I'm trending on LinkedIn. I didn't know what trending was. I heard about trending. It's a mini trend. It's a mini trend. It's a mini trend. I've been hearing
Like
from
4
folks I went to
people?
college with. Yeah, I mean, popular like no man, you trend. I don't trend. See, so it's a trip, man. It's like 2 week people are still like, congratulations. So now I really know what it's like in a small way to trend on social media.
Street Soldier's been trending for 30 years, so
Yeah.
you ain't got nothing to worry about that.
All right.
You was trending before trending, okay?
I don't know, brother. I don't know this thing. All right, look. I think any more news you want to? And we're going to dedicate the show. Like people have been dedicating everything, and for the last like a week or so, to Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, prayer's still going up.
Yes, the Buffalo Bills. I guess he's a safety. I think he's a safety. I don't know. Did you actually see what happened to him? The hit on the field? I didn't see it. Did anybody see it? I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. I'm glad I didn't see it. But his heart stopped on the field. He got up and he had apparently his heart stopped twice. He was revived. It looked very dire.
On the field.
On the field.
Which I have to say, incredible job by those medical people under that. Those circumstances.
Insane.
It wasn't like it was in the hospital in a quiet room. It was right there on the field.
It was insane.
But incredible job by them.
Yeah, he didn't get hit. He hit someone else. He hit the receiver.
See, I didn't see it. I just
it's the reason it's crazy because it's like every
it wasn't the most vicious hit that
it wasn't
so it's like
Right.
that just happened and it was just out of the blue. Anything, it was like a fluke moment that happened. So that's why it's so crazy. And thank God that he's doing a lot better.
He's doing a whole lot better. His breathing tube has been removed. His neurological functions are intact. It's a miracle. And he has begun talking with his teammates and everything else. And everything else. And in fact, when he finally was able to, first thing he said was, did we win the game?
Right.
And so our prayers are with him. Apparently what's this page he had sold? This page he had for, I guess,
he had
Christmas
a toy drive
gifts.
for the city he was
Yeah.
from in Pittsburgh. And had raised maybe his goal was 2,500.
Yeah.
He had just surpassed it. But when that happened, what happened to him, unfortunately happened to him by the next morning or the next afternoon, it was at over 6 million. And then I think right now it's at like 7.5, 8 million.
Amazing.
For a toy drive for toys. They don't get a lot of toys in that area. They're gonna be able to hook up the whole state.
They're gonna be able to hook up. You're right about that. So
he's got a long way to go as far as recovery and just being stable again. So let's keep him in our prayers.
But yes,
young brother too. What is it, 24 years
24,
old?
24 years old. Okay, we are going to.
Well, Doc, one thing you didn't. I know we got to hurry up, but two years ago, watching them people storm the Capitol.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 2-year anniversary.
January 6th. We never forget that day, will we?
Yeah.
I know I won't.
Yeah. 2-year anniversary. No, and there's going to be a lot more about this this year. Okay, let's tell everybody a couple of things.
Yeah, let them know that where they can join you at. Call in 877-955-1061.
Or I was going to give them the 800 soldier number. We give them a couple numbers. 800-765-3437. 800 SOLDIER. You can call in and join with us. Just give us a call. We'll put you on the air. And
you can always join us on live on the chat when you go to facebook.com/stayaliveandfree. And if you ever want to get back to our shows, see what we did last year or all of our 30 years, you can always go to stayaliveandfree.org to download, watch, and check out all of our content.
All right.
Cool. Thanks.
Good. Okay. All right. And I'll mention that number on and over and a bunch.
Yeah.
All the time. So you can watch us, you can hear us, you can do all of it. Definitely. All right. Let's get to our special guest. A special guest in the studio.
Special guest, huh?
Special guest in the studio. He is home. He is home. And this is the year to flourish, 2023.
Okay.
And we're going to tell you what that means. There's some symbolism in the word flourish. It's actually spelled a little differently, but we'll let our guest, as he moves through his interview here this evening, talk about it. And once again, welcome to the Street Soldier Studio. Author, entrepreneur, and family man. Can I throw that in there?
Please.
Mr. Enitan Bereola. Enitan.
That's a smooth brother right there.
For being here.
That's what's up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
man.
Inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Marshall, Lady Estelle, the whole squad.
Yeah.
Welcome home. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I can exhale.
Yeah.
Feels good to be home.
Yeah. You had a good time at 49er game today?
Amazing time.
Yeah.
49ers, they struggled for a little bit. There's a little bit of a competition in the beginning, but
yes, sir.
That was an incredible game. They ended up destroying them.
Yes.
We had a great seats, and it was my first time at the game, and I've been a fan since '82.
Yeah.
Since I was a child. So it was, there was a lot happening for me other than watching the game. It was a lot of bliss and reflection and entertainment all happening at once.
I got to tell Mike, we are very fortunate to get Enitan in the studio because he is literally, when you heard the phrase "a man on a move," he's a man on a move.
Okay.
No, he makes many moves. He's
That's
like, he's in motion. And he's from here. He doesn't live, you live in
Florida.
Florida, right?
Okay.
In Florida,
I love Florida.
But he came back home for a family party, right?
Shout out to Abigail Bereola, my little sister who just turned 30.
Right.
We love you, Abby.
Right.
We love you, girl.
Right. So we
Happy
said,
birthday.
Yes.
So we said, let's grab him while he's here. Because Mike, as this thing unfolds, I want you to understand.
Yes, sir.
We claim to be the birthplace of and the launching pad of Mr. Bereola. We do. I mean, it's not true, but that's okay.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, but it makes us feel good because
Doc don't claim you. It don't matter if it's true or not. Okay.
Wait.
Take it and claim it.
Being a springboard for it's just wonderful. Now I just want to tell you. Let me start off with this, Mike. You got to hear this, right? Everybody knows what I do, right? Everybody knows what
you go to Niner games for free.
Well,
I'm joking.
Once in a lifetime, but weekly.
No.
Right here on this show, this is the voice of Stop the Violence. We just stop the violence, people.
Yes, sir.
We have our own program, Live and Free Omega Boys Club. We work with young people. We ask young people to be different. We talk about no drugs, education. We talk about all of those things, and dare to be different is really a phrase that fits because much of what we say is the exact opposite of what everybody's doing, right?
Right.
The drug dealers call, I say, don't do it. Somebody got popped, they going for revenge, we say, don't do it,
Gotcha.
Right? And there was a time, maybe, I want to say, there was a time when the drugs was humming and the music was all that. And there's a phrase that I use a lot with the young people is I don't believe in the generation gap. I believe in the truth gap.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And in working with young people, I believe there are things that are timeless. I really do, right? And a lot of callers will say to me, that's what they did in your day, Dr. Marshall. We don't do it that way no more, blah, 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 blah. But I always believe with young people that if we can agree on certain things. See, I don't want young people to do what we say because I say it. I want them to do it because they believe it. Right. So 2 + 2 is 4 at my age. 2 + 2 is 4 at any age. Right. So that's the conclusion we come to. There was a time when the brothers was on the grind that, man, I mean, the N word and the B word, and not that that's gone. Right. There was a word grimy. You remember the word grimy?
Yes.
Yeah. Grimy for a lot of brothers was a thing. I mean, I didn't know that brothers was like on there out there forever, not taking showers. I
don't know if they meant that type of.
Well,
grimy.
no, they did. No, they would tell me that. They would be out
would
there.
take a shower.
Oh
Yeah,
man! Oh
See,
yeah!
that's why I got my thing. Wash your back.
Well, see, well, you
Wash
wouldn't.
your back.
Well, you know, but the whole philosophy of the hood and the street was dominating everything, right?
Wow.
Pants was down to the knees. Forget
Right.
down to all. But I mean, it's like so. So I'm like, no, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense.
Right.
Out of the blue comes this. I think he was 25 at that time, right? 25-year-old brother. It was like, and he introduced a whole new lexicon. It's like, Doc, for whatever reason, I agree with you.
Right.
So he walks into the studio and he brings his book and he's got this whole philosophy and he uses words I had never heard anybody use, right? He used the word gentleman. Now, only time I seen gentlemen was like in British movies, right? You know, I mean, you know, gentleman.
Right.
And then he had a phrase called gentlewoman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh man, this dude is on. I mean, most people say he owns some, right? Because I know I went back and told people about him and said, no, man, he faking. He ain't for real. He ain't for real. And then he wrote a book. And Dan, can you throw a shot of the book up? Oh, we didn't get a book. You know, this book called Bereola-esque. Say the name of the book.
Bereola-esque, the contemporary gentleman and etiquette book for the urban sophisticated.
Then he used the word etiquette.
Whoa.
I'm serious. Out of nowhere, here he comes. Now I'm like, now, you know, when you've been breathing pollution, I'm from LA, when you've been breathing pollution your whole life, and finally somebody in with fresh air, he came in one night. What year was that?
Maybe 2005,
right?
About 2009.
2009
is when the first book came out. So I think I came in studio that year.
He walks in and he's got this whole presence, you know.
Right.
He shows the book, brother.
Showmanship.
Up. He got to go bow tie. Only reason I had burial last night because I went out of LA. Right. He got all that, you know, and I'm like, and he's like, there he is. Look at that. Look. There's the book. Burial-esque.
Cool.
I couldn't look at that.
Right.
In the middle of grimy, here comes a brother with the tie, the piece. He even got the handkerchief, the whole bit. I'm like, who in the hell is this dude? Right? Whoever he is, I need him. I need him. That was how we met Enitan Bereola. And literally, I'm gonna call you this, man. I'm gonna give you these two words. You are a cultural icon. I'm gonna give you that.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna give you that. We needed you bad, right? Because,
Wow.
well, that's Doc. Of course, he's gonna say, you know, like your parents, you know, they're gonna say it, right? You know, they're gonna say, I needed somebody else who was younger, that age, to say the exact same thing and mean it and be genuine.
Right.
And ladies, so you remember the night he came in here, right? That whole gentleman thing. Go ahead, just the cultural lie. You get your turn, brother.
Absolutely.
I got to let you know what you are.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
He was a sweetheart. He had on his jacket, and he had the whole look, the Sunday look, and Sunday evening, and he still has the look. And he was just so sweet and so poised and present. But the thing that got me, because you know I pay attention, and it's easy to say the right thing, and you know, to say what people kind of expect. You just wrote a book, and so you're gonna say what you wrote because you want to. But he did more than that. The thing, we were all done. We were leaving the room. He looked around the room, and he picked up trash. He bent down, Remy, and picked the trash up off the floor, and threw it away before he walked out the door. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. See, he didn't have to do that. He could have just walked on out, but he didn't. Picked up a cup, threw it away. Do you remember that? Picked up some trash.
I remember the story.
Threw it
Honestly,
away.
I don't remember doing it.
I saw you. You don't remember doing it because that's what you do.
Right.
Because that's
what you do.
Because that is what my parents taught us.
Yeah. That's what you do, right? But no, we was like.
So when you see somebody just doing what's right because it's right, and it's easy, and it's just who they are, you know you've got somebody that's authentic and real and genuine. And that was priceless. Never forgot that.
So Mike, that was how we met. And literally, it was like a spaceship. The brother took off. He ain't, you know, and this is the truth. And I went back the next day and told the kids at the club about you because Alicia Marie was here. And it's like, he didn't want my number. He didn't want a number. And they really told me, No, man, that's just game.
That's
what all the time. Everybody call all the kids. That's just game. They cannot believe this. But I said, no, it's real, right? Alicia told no. Now that is how we met, and the trajectory has been like this ever since.
It's all because of you and the Mega Boys Club.
I'm joking. Yes. No, but go ahead, man. Welcome home.
Good to see you. It's good to be here. It's an honor. That was an incredible introduction.
Right.
I've never heard, it's like, I think as Black men, people in general, but I think Black men have a hard time receiving, and I'm working on reception.
Man.
I'm working on reception. It like to just open up and everything you just said, like,
it's true.
Take it in as truth. Because I know it to be true, right? But to hear that, to see my reflection in you and hear that back bounce to me, reverberated, and I almost shed tears when you were talking because it hit my core, because it's an ode to who raised us, the people I love dearly. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm happy to be here. This is the birthplace of my dreams. It all happened here, being between San Jose and Oakland. My dad in Oakland, my mom in San Jose. It's like being able to touch the texture of the sidewalk and feel different fabrics and understand humanity and people and culture and everything that this beautiful Bay Area offers. It's led to this moment, Bereola launched here. You all gave me a shot. You guys gave me an opportunity to tell my truth, as crazy as it might have been or sounded at the time. And I've been moving in the same essence since, and you all supported me along the way.
I just can't get over what you introduced. I really can't. Gentleman, Bereola dressing, the whole bit. I mean, but it wasn't like a thing with you. You wasn't doing it to make no money or get a hit record. I mean, it was completely genuine. And then you took it. You've written 2 other books. Tell Mike the other books that you've done.
The first one, Bereola. The second one, Gentlewoman, Etiquette from a Lady from a Gentleman. And then the third book is The Gray, Relationship Etiquette Study. It's been an amazing journey. A blessing. Sometimes I look at it and it's hard to believe that I actually did that. It's in my rear view because I know what it takes to do it. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I honored that dream. I'm glad that I listened. Because I mean, it's to this day, people still, I'll travel and people will just stop me and they'll tell me a story of how that story connected to them or connected to their child and like the impact that it had. And that was my crazy intention. that was my wildest dream. So like to be, as I was speaking with Lady Estelle off air, to be able to live inside of a prayer is mind blowing. And I hope that we all realize that that's where we are inside of a prayer, whether it's our own, our grandma's, we were living inside of those. So please take some time to breathe that in.
Let me tell you about your book. That first book, let me tell you, man. I know people that like did what you said.
Yeah.
When talking to women, dating, like Lily wrote thank you cards. I mean, I know people actually did that because you had a whole chapter, all right, how to respond to a date. Take out a card, right? I knew brothers that actually did that, man. They like took out a card, wrote her a thanks, sent her a thank you note, the whole bit, man. You really mess with these.
So bring me up to speed as far as his book. What does it provide? What is it doing? That's what I'm saying.
I know. Yes.
Yep. So
that's just the first book.
Let us know. Everybody want to know.
Go ahead, brother.
We live, Camille.
The first book meets you where you are, right? It makes etiquette attractive. It makes a lifestyle that people think is archaic and they don't even know how to spell. They never heard of it. It's something that at one point it fluctuates throughout culture, but I think at one point people looked at being a gentleman as something that's corny. It introduces etiquette to the everyday man.
Got it.
And it includes us.
There we go.
Because a lot of times, literature is spoken over us.
Right.
This book meets you where you are. So whether you're a young brother from Oakland, whether you're, an Asian cat in San Jose, in Asia somewhere in Korea, regardless of who you are, I try to write it in a way that'll be able to teach. If you already live that lifestyle, you'll learn something. You'll learn a lot of new things. But if you don't know anything about it, it could change the trajectory of your life.
And then manners is universal.
Yeah.
So like, if you got good etiquette and good manners, that could carry. It goes far beyond your maybe even your educational background and all that.
It gets you indoors. Education can't. I've been in so many places via being myself, being what my parents taught me, not offering anything else, and those doors swing right open because people don't see that. People like the fact that that was noticeable that I picked up garbage is beautiful, but also tragic, right? That should be something should be commonplace, but should be is a word we use often. So I wrote a second book called Gentlewoman, Etiquette for a Lady from a Gentleman.
Wow.
And it was essentially the same book for women. They didn't have a word to subscribe to define their femininity in a time that was, culture was transitioning, it was shifting into something different. And a lot of women felt like they were just in limbo and there was nothing to define who they were. They didn't see it reflected on TV and film. So I wrote what I saw. And a lot of it was based off of my wife, like looking at her and stepping mentally into her shoes and seeing the world from her eyes. And once I took that risk to look at, life through somebody else's shoes, perspective entirely changed.
Wow.
And I saw all of the flaws in society and even in myself, even being raised a gentleman. I saw so many things that, misogynistic ways and ways that are just subconscious because they're ingrained and threaded in the culture. You don't even realize, especially being from the Bay.
Yeah.
The music, the culture out here.
Right.
The roots of it. Right. That bleeds into everything. So that becomes a part of, how you talk, who you are, what you believe, how you
that
dress.
part about Bay culture, man. I hate that part, just to be honest.
Yeah. And I know
we don't deal with that. We don't talk about it, but it's so deep in the misogyny, just the whole pimp thing, just all of it. It's just, it gets on my nerves so much. Sorry.
It's so deeply rooted. It's what we dance to. It's what, but it is, there's, do you listen to that?
Hey, we just named the boulevard after the #1 brother that put the bees out there.
Right.
So you get rewarded for it. Let's put it like that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's keeping it real.
Right.
Yeah, and then the third book I wrote is called The Gray, and it's a relationship etiquette study because I realized that idealistically, you have a gentleman that reads Bereola-esque and a woman that reads Gentlewoman, and you feel like they're going to be a beautiful couple if they met, right? That's not how life works.
No.
There's this area that's gray that a lot of people exist in.
Yeah.
And there's truth, there's reality, there's fiction, there's this gray area. It's not black, it's not white, it's undefined, it's unclear, it's unfocused. And a lot of us meddle in those spaces, but nobody talks about it.
Right.
So this book was to eliminate that gray and get you to a space of clarity so that, beyond the books, you really have a deeper understanding of who you are. Because I deeply believe that one of the greatest things and most powerful things somebody could know is who they are.
Man, knowledge of self.
And you gotta get this. We was in this crack cocaine thing for I'm gonna say 30 years, right? Just do 30, 80s to certainly I go 2010. Okay, all right. And the crack did a lot, put the men in jail, women on drugs. But the main thing he did for me was it was a total loss of sacredness. There was no such word as sacred. Mamas was, that churches were shot up. It was like everything that was, and I keep using the word sacred to us, just suddenly vanished. When a mother prefers the drug to the child, all right, you were saying no, certain things are sacred.
Because they are, right? And I think I know that God's given me a gift of of vision and perspective and clarity. And when you know something and you feel something, you can't not do it, right? When you're assigned, when you're called and that tug is there, you cannot respond to that burden. We all have some sort of a burden that's tied to our gift. It irritates you to not respond to it, right? Like your heart palpitates. You want to contribute to that gift, to that assignment. So I couldn't look in society and not do anything. I knew I had the gift of leadership. Out of all my friends, for whatever reason, I was a guy that would connect circles. I was a guy that my brother's friends would pull me to the side and ask about fashion, like when they were going to the prom or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was younger than them. And so I was always this, I knew I would lead flock, but I didn't know why. You know, I didn't know how to use the gift. It felt like a burden. And then it began to feel like a responsibility. And then there was a point where I was able to have this almost a still moment where I was looking at society and looking at culture, seeing where we've been, where we were, and where we're going.
Did somebody say to you, because this happened to me, I remember early on when I started working with young people and I didn't quite, I knew it was something, right? Mm-hmm. And young people were listening, and to send them off to college and so on and so forth. And brother was older than me, so not much older, but I call him OG for that sense, pulled me aside and says, Doc, you've been given this gift for a reason and you have to accept it, right? You have to, don't run away from it. I remember it was Ronnie Hatter, for those of you who know Ronnie. He pulled me aside. You just have to, and the word was accept. And that really helped me at that point to say, okay, this is what I'm being used for. I'm a vessel, and it was easy. After that, it was easy. Did something like that happen to you?
Yeah, God speaks all the time, and he was speaking specifically to me. And I knew that I had to face some sort of tension.
Yeah.
Before I could get started. So I put myself in a compromising situation. I moved to Atlanta and I lived with a friend that I was writing the book with. And then I called my second cousin who lives in Atlanta, because I just felt uncomfortable in my friend's house on his couch. And I said, can I come stay with you for a little bit? It required a lot out of me. It was very uncomfortable to say that, but she said, sure. So I was able to live with her and for about a year, and I wrote the first book there. Mm-hmm. And shout out to cousin Cassandra in Atlanta. And she just nurtured me, and I helped out around the house. I played this position of, I was subservient. I was humbled. It was a lot of growth that happened there. But I put myself in that situation intentionally to face some sort of, because I didn't have a lot of tension in my life. I didn't have a lot of anything to get over, and I didn't have that friction, right? And my brother was a great example of, accepting manhood early, accepting the responsibilities of it, right? By allowing life to happen and knowing that you'll grow strength in building. So I moved to Atlanta, and that was me jumping out of the window. Mm-hmm. That was me taking that risk, right?
Yeah.
I have 7 credits away from graduating at FAMU. I created you have to do this. And I'm not encouraging anyone to put themselves, but the way I was moved at that time, the way my mind worked and my motivation worked, I needed a situation that I couldn't jump on hit the floor and bounce back up because I have, a launching pad on the bottom, or there's a parachute that I have in the back of my back in case I fall.
Or a net in the circus, right?
I didn't need the net. I needed to free fall.
Right. Yeah.
I needed to free fall.
Yeah.
And test what it is that God told me. So I was unafraid. I look back at that guy. I'm like, oh my gosh, who was this kid? Like, I want some of that audacity. And maybe it's still there, but we all have our internal conversation. I'm like, no. I look back at that and I can't believe I did. It's man, that's
let me ask your brother who's here with you. Just you've been with him through this whole journey, right? And just what do you think about him? I mean, we got a lot more to cover here, but just you watching him grow up and step into this and so on and so forth. What's your thoughts about it?
I mean, the first word is proud, of course. I'm just very proud of my brother and just everything that he's done, everything he's accomplished. He's always been who he is. And so this is pretty much, what you see is what it is. And I think that I remember when he first told me about the book, and he first told me what he was, I was like, exactly.
I remember that conversation. It was hard.
I like that.
Wait, hold on, man. You about to do what? And then also, like, people don't know this stuff already. I mean, this is a thing. But the reality is that I think he said it best is God put that on him. God gave him that burden and that gift. And that was something that he embraced and he stepped into. And so just definitely very proud. I think we especially in recent years, we've been very intentional about sharing and just, speaking from the heart. We speak pretty much every week for sure. Just in the morning, just praying, just trying to get our minds focused for the day ahead. And so I appreciate just how he's grown and come into his own. So just definitely very proud.
Anytime I'm getting questions about the books again, so just say those 3 books again, because there's nothing wrong with selling them again. All right.
Y'all about to make shed a tear here. The first book is Bereola-esque, the contemporary gentleman and etiquette book for the urban sophisticate. Book number 2 is Gentlewoman, etiquette for a lady from a gentleman. And the third book is called The Gray, a relationship etiquette study. They're all found on Amazon. And they're going to be on Flourysh soon, though. I never said that out loud, but they'll be on Flourysh as well.
Flourysh.
But you can see, like, I recommend if you don't have them that you get all 3, because there's a through line story. It's like a trilogy.
Okay.
You became sort of a star on college campuses. I mean, they was like amazing. Calling you like crazy.
It was,
I mean, maybe, you were saying the same wherever you went, but on the college campuses, you became like, I couldn't keep up with you. I really couldn't.
It was amazing to even like, I thought of those things as a child, but living that and being in that was the way where it started from, like influencing before influencer campaigns and all of this, like social media being what it is today. I was doing that at the time, building that infrastructure without fully knowing. I was just it was a means to an end to me. I felt like it would work. And who better to talk to than, college students who are impressionable and who are at that stage where they're going to make a decision whether they're going to do what they've always heard or, go their own way. So I was there to reinforce, to introduce, and to remind them not to grow weary in well doing. Like, I'm here with you. I look like you. I look like y'all. Mm-hmm. I talk like y'all. This is the lifestyle I live. Right. This is a thing called etiquette. It's not what you think it is. It's beautiful. Right. It's something we all desire, and it helped change the conversation. Like, there's a lot of impact culturally that I can see, from writing that book. It's incredible. It's incredible to, again, to have something, a vision on you that you actually see come true.
And nothing surprises you. And well, that's not the right word. I'm going to say the word. By the way, I'm going to tell you the words. I can do author, entrepreneur, Enitan, Bereola. And you heard the books that he's done. Bay Area is his home, and now he is like this. I call him a cultural icon, but he continues to grow. He's going to talk about the latest things the ventures that he's taking on. Were you surprised at the receptivity that you got on the college campus?
The first time I spoke at a college was Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana.
What year?
It was 2009, and it was a few months before Bereola came out. So I didn't even have the book out. They booked me because they liked how I posted on Facebook. They liked the gentleman's tips and the ladies' tips that I would give. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what I was doing. Like, they asked for my writer. I don't know what a writer is. They booked my flight. And I was like, that's funny. This is incredible. They're booking me a flight. Like, what is this? Crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I was telling my dad about it, and I wanted to have books. So long story short, I went into the rest. We arrived. They took great care of me. Shout out to Muncie, Indiana, and Ball State. And I went to the restroom because I was so nervous right before I was about to go speak. Mm-hmm. I'd never done this before. I just like wrote this thing. I didn't know if it was going to work. I sat there and timed it, and just, so I do this speech, and I don't know, I can't read the audience. I don't know what to look for. I'm just like, go, right? I'm just like, God gave you this assignment. Yeah. I know you're afraid of this thing, but if this is the only thing between me and the gift and the purpose, this speaking, that's it. That's like your only mountain.
Right.
I'm gonna pick up the books. I'm gonna read about public speaking. I'm gonna look in the mirror and like look crazy and be uncomfortable practicing, because this is how I'm gonna get past that mountain and get to the audience. So when I was done, I was shocked because there were people who were just kind of like gathering up front. Mm-hmm. And I thought they were just kind of just lingering around, and they ended up like forming a line. And there was this long line of people that talked to me. Wow. And I remember the feeling of just sitting there and looking at that and being like, oh my
God. Right.
That had to be sick.
Right.
that God wink, that little thing that God does, where he'll confirm and your ordered steps.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah. It's confirmation.
Yeah, artists always talk about when they step on stage and like how you explained when you went on the field and you can't explain 60,000 people screaming your name. And I don't know what that feels like, but I imagine that it's a similar feeling, when you feel what you've always seen, or you see what you've always seen in real time. You see it.
I bet.
No.
That's sick. Nah, for real. I mean, it all goes back to just being where you need to be and doing what you got to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Having knowledge of self, knowing who you truly are. Because like you said earlier, sometimes when you're young, you don't feel the weight of the world.
Yeah.
So you feel like you can do whatever. And that's a great feeling to have. Because when you get wiser and you realize like, man, there's a lot of obstacles in my way, you might have not done it.
Yeah.
Because you thinking like that. But when you do it at a certain age, you're free from all that extra thought. Because that's all it is extra thought. You get what I'm saying?
It's extra thought, man.
Yeah.
It's extra thought based off of life experiences. And it's funny you said that, because I did, when I decided to jump out the window, so to speak, I thought it made sense because I wasn't married, I didn't have any kids, and I didn't have any real responsibilities. That was like my deciding factor. Like, all right, go now. Like, just go.
Right.
You felt this thing since you were a child.
Right.
Just go.
Yes.
And it's amazing when you actually, achieve something you set in motion, because it let me see beyond the clouds. You know what I mean? It let me know that there's something over the mountaintop.
Feel that.
I mean, again, everybody who takes on challenges like this, has those feelings. For me, it was just so different and necessary. And people will lead us out of this wilderness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you wasn't just dropping, the latest rap record or the latest, comedy routine, that everybody got their fear of going on stage. You dropping gentlemen, you dropping gentlewoman, you dropping etiquette, you dropping stuff that wasn't really nobody else. But let me put it like this. If they wanted to, and deep inside, they were afraid. And you gave that permission to come out.
That was the goal, because
that's the thing for me.
You can see people.
Oh,
I mean,
most people wearing a mask and they faking it anyway, especially brothers.
I see so clearly, and it's just you speaking to what you see. That's the gift, the clarity, and being brave enough, or not even brave, because that puts the onus on you, having enough faith to walk in it, to like, just come what may.
Yeah.
To walk in it, come what may.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the journey has been amazing. It's like, I now understand, I know who I am. And I move quietly in that.
Like I had to tell you, I've been to his events, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm used to going to events where you got your head on a swivel, just automatically. You know, that's the way it is. You know that? I mean, look, they patting you down, they doing this, you got to worry from the time you get there. I've been to events where people walk in packing, literally, right? Yeah. And it was why I decided not to go. You go to his events, the vibe is, ladies, completely
different.
Because there's gentlemen in there.
Gentlewomen, right.
I mean, do you know what that just feels like?
Exhale.
Yeah.
And you did these all over the country.
Yes,
and you still
Australia,
doing them.
And
listen,
we went out
of
the country.
Where you been?
Oh my gosh, Toronto, Australia, New York, the Bay Area, of course, all over, Oakland, San Jose, just Middle America, just all over. I mean, it's been an amazing ride. It's reflecting. I always say reflection is good for a moment, but don't stay there.
Right.
Because I got stuck like reflecting on the amazingness of it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to realize that there was so much more to go. So also don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to go from 0 to 10 and go back to 0 to 10. And don't try to go from 0 to 100. It's exhausting and it's not sustainable because you want to keep going. Don't be afraid to start all over. If you are you can build, you can go where you're called. You're going to go where you're called. If you believe you are who you are.
Just let you know that you got to switch over.
Yep.
to the Facebook.
Right.
But the people on Facebook, if you're listening, driving around on the radio, you can go to Facebook Live to continue. We're gonna continue the regular Cameo scheduled programming from 9 to 10. But if you want to continue the Street Soldier conversation, continue it over at Facebook Live. Can I have the
FacebookLive.com. Stay alive and free. FacebookLive.com. Stay alive and free. We'll continue this interview with author, entrepreneur, and family man, Enitan Bereola. I told you he was different, didn't I?
Yeah.
Thank you, Enitan.
Did. Nah.
Good to hear you, brother.
And then real quick, because we got about maybe like a minute. Did you take credit for Oh Boy song? Did he give you like kudos for Classic Man?
So Jadena, you know what's actually dope, man? And shout out to Jadena.
I'm a classic man.
Yeah, no, he contributed to the Gray. He wrote one of the forwards in the Gray, but he wrote this manifesto. And he wrote it, I think it's on on Jadena.com. He had a manifesto.
Got you.
And he mentions, he quotes my book in the manifesto. I didn't know about it. I was doing something with Bevel. Shout out to Tristan Walker, Bevel, Black owned, trimmer, hair care, beauty company, skincare company.
Gotcha.
From the Bay Area. So, it's he showed love. And
that's beautiful.
And when I was doing the campaign, the young marketing lady, Cassidy, she told me that she asked me the question, what do you think about what Jadena said about you?
Right.
I was like, what did Jadena say? She said,
had no clue.
Yeah, she said he contributed. I mean, he wrote a manifesto when he credited you, and it was a dope. He concluded it with my quote. So I mean, I knew he got it. My homie showed me his video on YouTube way before he got popular and came out, and I was just looking at it. There's like a dandy atmosphere in Atlanta. Yeah. The way I was like, man, this guy, we have to cross paths or something. Like there's somebody, there's a connection there.
Sure.
When you make it to an artist song, you be like, I remember I heard Dr. Marshall Street Soldiers. I'll be in the song. I said, man, that's nice.
All right, we're gonna go back.
Yep.
Thank you for listening, you guys. If you want to continue this conversation, because we're just going over to Facebook Live.
Facebook.com, stay alive and free. We're not going nowhere. We got a lot, and we got folks who want to join you in the show.
So this is my family. You guys are so beautiful and patient. Appreciate it. I wanted to show love to and give love to some of the pioneers of the soil that we sit on, and we have my homie Charlize Banks. We have my brother Squint. I'm not gonna say her government name. And we have my brother Steve Canal. This is family. I wanted to have a conversation, or just not even a conversation. I really just want people to know that you all exist. So I'm gonna introduce you individually. And I have some dope friends, some amazing friends, and I want to introduce the world to them. So Charlize, you have an incredible initiative and a beautiful company called the Town Experience. Tell us a little bit about it, but also tell us, let me see that hoodie. That's cool. Is that for sale? Is that merch? All right, we got to get that on Flourysh.
Sorry, I'm on mute.
So tell us about the Town Experience and tell us what you're up to now. What are you up to these days? What are you looking forward to in 2023 with the Town Experience?
So Town Experience is a marketing platform, for the easiest sake of words, that is dedicated to highlighting the cool town experiences and the vibrancy that makes Oakland what Oakland is. We try to uplift local entrepreneurship. I have a hyper focus on really supporting the Black and brown businesses in Oakland and ensuring that we're giving them features and highlights when they're opening and how to support them throughout the year. We also do highlights on new products and businesses and just experiences that are happening in Oakland. I come from an event planning background, so cultural experiences are, to me, one of the greatest links to our human experience and how a city thrives. So I try to ensure that I'm part of those experiences, curating those, as well as using the platform to ensure that the rest of the city and visitor, it started off for visitors, but there is a localized attraction to ensuring that we are also participating in our local community events and supporting our local businesses. So in my mind, it is the inspiration was to be a Green Book 2.0. for Oakland. So if you think about what that tool was created for originally, in order for us to navigate around our city and to have safe places and find our tribes, you know, I think we still have certain precautions and rules of engagements that we need to understand when coming to Oakland, just as we did going through Jim Crow South. And, you know, and ensuring that when you you come to Oakland, you feel safe, because we know there is a negative stereotype around our city. And, you know, it is crime. There's a lot of high crime right now, but even with that, there's still a vibrancy that you can't get anywhere else. That, you know, you come to Oakland and you leave with a town experience. That's the intention. So, you know, it started off as an organic idea that was really just created around giving this open hospitality to the influx of 10,000 Black tech employees coming to Oakland in 2019 for the Afro Tech experience. And then from that, the strategy just touched the right people, and I was pushed to grow this as a agency and actually de facto for Oakland. So and then I started right in the middle of the pandemic, so that was fun. So that really became the hyper focus of the community work, is how we are grassroots mobilizing. Without doing that work, there is no town experiences, which I find the correct connection between the work you do behind the scenes and what I'm actually promoting. So since then, it's been full throttle. Pandemic's over, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We lost about 80% of our businesses, Black and brown businesses in Oakland. So
80%.
We're now trying to reshape the city. We have new leadership. We are trying to, you know, we got Black Joy Parade, so we're still trying to keep our cultural experiences alive and thriving. It's I didn't know when I started this idea for this platform that it would be touching so many nodes between like what our economic development, our urban planning looks like. I have a very deep connection to East Oakland and what that opportunity looks like to reshape that area. So I'm doing a lot of real strategy work between the city and actual community CDCs and bids. Didn't know anything about all this stuff until I got into this like role, creative placemaking, placekeeping all day, just for the culture and how we're really building for the next generation to come in and hopefully keep us here, because you know they're trying to price us out. So how we rebrand and market this city without displacing ourselves is the ultimate umbrella that I hope we could reshape. So in a nutshell, that's the town experience. This year full of events coming up. Again, Black Joy Parade is the biggest priority right now. That's the last Sunday of February. So we are gearing up for that. I will be on there. We have a parade float for that. We're doing lead up events. We're getting the event calendar together right now, just what the Black History Month events are looking like in Oakland, but specifically, we're going to be having some lead up events for Black Joy Parade. So that's priority number one. Next main event that will be on the roster is Juneteenth. We're kind of learning to get ahead of these things, so we're not always spreading ourselves thin at the last minute. We know when Juneteenth is. And so now we're like, let's get it going. Let's make this really a citywide, organized, unified event. So those are the two big events. A lot of projects and strategies coming between that, but those are the two highlights of the year that I hope will bring some impact to the city and really help, you know, get our city back in shape.
Well, Charlize, thank you. We appreciate you, the work you're doing. Watching you grow has been incredible, and you have our support. So we
come a long way from club promoting, huh?
Yeah, one of the first people to book me for an event in San Jose.
That's when I was in my San Jose day. I came originally from San Jose, transplanted to Oakland, but I am a Bay Area born and raised Bay Area, and so Oakland was just, I always knew if I stayed in Oakland, stayed in the Bay Area long term, I would end up in Oakland just for the culture. So
it's got a different texture to it. We love the Bay. We love Oakland. So my brother Squint, gentleman of the soil, an amazing storyteller. Art direction and photography is Bereola-esque.
He's amazing.
Sandifer-esque. And also, this gentleman, my wife and I had the honor to have him capture a lot of our important moments in life, including our wedding and our child, our first child's, Miles' first photos. He was 6 weeks old. So he holds an important place in our family's lives. He has an incredible history on a spiritual level, on a friendship level, on a personal level. and I'm super proud of the work he's doing. I want you to give a little quick introduction on who you are, what you do, and what you're looking forward to this year. This is like a real conversation because I'm actually catching up in real time. We haven't chatted.
Yeah. So my name is Squint. I'm from the Bay Area, Palo Alto, native. Oakland kind of grafted me in, so I moved to Oakland when I was 17. And just been fortunate to be blessed with a perspective, and do directing from documentaries to films to shows. But my heart, I'm always gonna be a photographer. So even if I was a billionaire, like I always think it's something special to just be able to capture moments and capture our times. Entrepreneur, investor, and just what I'm looking forward to this year is like a lot more coming out of the shadows. I've been in the shadows for so long just because it's a place of comfort. Sorry, I got a new baby. So but it's just a place of comfort. And so I'm excited to kind of launch that. We're moving our studios and building more of a production house to be able to capture and expand our bandwidth. So I'm really excited about that.
Man, it's and excuse me, man. You've grown so rapidly and tremendously and have been doing so much. There's so much to add to your resume, man, and what you are. But we thank you, man. You're a constant source of inspiration, even when you're in the shadows. And you told me you were going there, so I know that you're doing, the output's gonna be incredible. The gentleman with the F on his sweater. This is an incredible brother of mine. Met him later in life, whereas I've known the majority of my friends for 30 plus years. But I met this brother later at a very impactful time in my life where I was trying to figure things out. And we've been buddies since. We've been on tour together. Lady Estelle, Dr. Marshall, you met him at Exhibit Gray. He wrote a book called The Mind of a Winner. And we went on tour for years and developed companies together. And he is the co-founder and the CEO of a new company to shop and discover Black-owned brands, the largest one, by the way. And the cultural icon as well says Squint. There's no words in the lexicon to fully speak of who he is because I'm learning every day. But I just want you, Steve Canal, CEO of Flourysh, co-founder of Flourysh, and brother of mine, to tell them a little about your company and some of the things that we're doing this year and looking forward to. And by the way, go ahead and take the plane and land it as long as you want to go. You might see me disappear in 3 minutes, got a flight to catch back home and get back to work. Yes, but I love y'all. And this is the pilot, Steve Canal.
Appreciate that, E. Safe travels back. Love to the family. Squint, what's up, brother? My modest brother. And by the way, that chair, I know what that chair you're sitting in, I know you're gonna be doing some work out in Oakland. That's showing you about that work. So appreciate all that you're doing in the Bay Area and beyond, because it's gonna expand globally. Steve Canal, CEO, co-founder of Flourysh. Flourysh was created to put a platform forward for Black-owned product-based businesses, right? We wanted to be able to magnify voices through storytelling, right? And within our media partnerships, strategic partnerships. We wanted to create an opportunity through e-commerce to house their products, to be able to, foster the discovery and growth of those amazing products from these Black-owned founders, and through live experiential events, right? They get to be present, at some of the most biggest festivals, events, marketplace pull-ups, homecomings across the country. With Enitan and I, we truly maximize all of our network to create a platform, a community for Black-owned founders to be able to expand and grow. Currently, we have over 6,000 Black-owned products on Flourysh. We have over 160 Black-owned brands on the platform. We have a pipeline of about 1,500 brands that are waiting to get onto Flourysh. So it's not about yes or no. We also work with the brands to, help them grow their business, right? Whether it's helping them with product shots, whether it's talking to them about, you know, their shipping policies, whether it's talking to them about the descriptions for their products, whether it's talking to them about financing. We have an entire strategic partner portal where they can talk to all of the folks that we have relationships, whether it's Clavio, whether it's, you know, talking about SMS campaigns, email campaigns. You know, we really truly wanted to create an environment where they can engage with each other. And between us and our relationships, you know, I can talk forever about the stuff that we've been able to accomplish in our years, but we've taken all those resources and poured them into Flourysh to be able to support and help Black-owned businesses.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, no, what's interesting is that this is stuff I know nothing about, and I stay in my lane. So it's wonderful to see folks like you figuring out your lane and expanding this. So, see, where did this vision for you come from? I've only got a couple minutes here because then I kind of get out of here, but where does this vision come for you, and what would you like to see? Because when people ask me what my vision is, I say, I want the impossible. I want a world without violence and a world without incarceration, right? So I want to achieve the impossible, and along the way, save as many people as I can, right? So I love vision. I think the only way, by the way, can we get somebody in Oakland that actually has a vision for the city, okay, and make a mayor for like 500 years, all right, because Oakland needs vision. And I'm saying that because I've been around Oakland for a while, but it seems like, what is your vision? What would you like in your
I got you.
best of all scenarios?
I got you. First off, where did the vision come from? It's in our DNA. We live this. We are the creators, right? We're the creators of life. Everybody comes from us, right?
Absolutely. We're all African people.
we're the
Take it from the top now. All right.
Yes.
All right.
business owners is a stigma of bad customer service, right? Overpriced products. There's a lot in reasoning why people don't understand how hard it is to be a Black founder and a Black business owner, right? We gotta cut we gotta, measure 6 times, to cut once, right? And for us, by creating a platform where we respect each other, we're here for each other. Nobody feels threatened within the community. We're a resource for each other. That's the vision, and that's what we're going to keep pushing every day.
It always seems to me that the key word for all of this, whether it be, well, I'm going to use the word is consciousness, right? Obviously, you've reached a level of consciousness. Each of you have reached a level of consciousness, and Enitan has reached that level. Do you have to like educate people in the philosophy of consciousness, right? Just believing in Black people is a consciousness thing, right? Because this thing has always been taught us to hate ourselves, right? To trust ourselves. But at the same time, well, let me just ask you about that. This seems a lot of consciousness that I don't see that we need to have in order to get to where we would like to be. Just your thoughts on that. Any of you?
Yeah, I could piggyback off that a little bit. I think it's before you can even start a movement, you got to create the behavioral change. I mean, especially in like the city of Oakland, I feel like in order to create these innovations and designs, there's a social capital we got to rebuild with our city. a lot of the trust has been broken because we've had broken leadership. Like you said, it comes back to being a visionary and being able to create that vision for people who don't see past tomorrow. Like, how do you go to Deep East Oakland and tell, this is how we could revamp this area and make this a thriving, beautiful Black business community? Then, you know, when they don't have technology, they don't have internet supply, they don't have, you know, the education system is, they're closing schools left and right. It's so, even before we even start moving in these, like, there's a lot of ideas and strategies we're trying to push, but like you said, it's still, you got to measure 3 times before you cut, because the minute if we mess up that strategy the first time around to rebuild back community trust again, that's going to set us back like another 5 years. So there's always, it's like thinking a step ahead and a cut above everyone, but also thinking of contingencies that don't put an conscious impact and run our environment at the same time. Are we making the right impact and environmental changes that won't cause a long-term effect in a negative way?
Yeah, and you hit it on the head with that level of consciousness. You know, my life changed the day I heard Dead Prez Let's Get Free album. Like my entire life changed, right? From understanding how schools are set up, food, the system, like I overstood everything. And what that allowed me to do was be patient on another level, because I knew how life really worked. And it prepared me to align myself with the people that were around me, and understanding that we can't change everybody. Right, we'll drive ourselves to the ground trying to impact everybody. So we have to focus on those that are around us, immediately around us, and give them those insights so it can create a halo effect. Right, but with us, with Flourysh, within our community, that's what we're doing. Right, we're impacting the businesses that are within us, so hopefully they can do the same for the businesses that they know and the relationships they have in their community.
Enitan's getting ready to get out of here, so they're gonna grab a picture at the same time, and I'll get
yeah.
I don't see, you got
Real quick picture.
You got everybody?
That's so nice.
That's a nice
You want to
picture.
get in it? Get in it.
Yeah, man.
I know.
I've seen legends through these photos, man.
Beautiful. One more. Oh, love. Okay.
And they have a safe flight back there.
That's crazy.
Everybody.
Listen.
Get out of here, man. Do not be sad playing.
Yeah,
For real.
See,
Thank you so
has
much.
business with you tomorrow.
Love you. Appreciate it so much.
You know, we have a saying, and I think this fits in. I think hopefully you agree with this. Young people always ask me, why would you, you know, raise money for me to go to college when I'm not your son or your daughter, right? I mean, my parents won't do that for me, right? And here you are, a stranger, and I have to tell them we're not all related, but we're all family. And that's a level of consciousness that's hard for them to grasp, right? You're gonna be my family, right? This whole thing of self-love is so important. And as Steve, you were talking about for you was Dead Prez. Well, Dead Prez probably read the book I read, which was mine. That's the Autopsy of Mountains. When I read the Autopsy of Malcolm X, everything was explained to me, right? And I know why the hoods existed, why the ghettos existed, how intentional it is. And I use this phrase all the time, that we collude in our own oppression.
Right.
You know, we make up enemy. We gonna make somebody enemy because he lives in East Oakland, or he lives in West Oakland, or he lives on the South Side of Chicago, or, you know, he's a Crip, or he's a Blood, or she's, you know, she's light skinned, she's dark skinned. All that is what you have to fight through to get to the same thing of community, which is what, you know, you go back to African people, that's what we were, right? It was community. Right. So I admire you for taking that on and knowing that, you know, that there's going to be moments of a discouragement.
Do you guys hear echo, Steve?
No, only we do. They don't.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, only we don't. So I really admire each of you for taking that on, because we can be our own worst enemy all the time.
Seriously.
And I really want to compliment you, but at the same time, when you feel the fight is, oh man, I can't keep doing this. I can't do this. Man, you get ready to call him. You know, I remember when Malcolm got so hurt because he realized that what he thought, you know, the nation wasn't really like, you know, he's like crushed. Those are times we turn to each other, you know, and support each other and help each other push through. And so that's why I'm so proud, not only of man-Enitan, but all of you. And then we need to be there for each other when those moments come. Because if not for us, it's not gonna happen. I just want to compliment each of you.
Yeah, I have a signature.
Not only compliment you, but to encourage you to just keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. I have my signature, my email whenever I sign out is all we got is us. You know, I wanted to be a reminder when you finish reading whatever note I send you, that it's in, you know, the kindness of heart that's displaying this right here for you to understand that it's not about me, right? It's about us, right? And all we got is us to support us and be there for us and understand that it's bigger than us, you know?
And that's why with young people, for me, it's so important, you know, to take them back to the freedom riders, take them back to those times where they can see at least that it wasn't, that it was about us. Just show them a glimpse of it, whether it be in Kemet or any little pocket that I can show it at, because a lot of them don't feel like that at all. And so, yeah, thank you. Just thank you and thank you. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You want to do something going out? Got something going out, lady?
I do have something.
Okay.
Okay,
And then we'll get out of here.
All right. It's our first Sunday back for this new year. And our first guest, Enitan Bereola, is here. An accomplished author, entrepreneur, and family man who described himself today as living inside of prayer. Recognize the responsibility of the gift he was given. Follow the guidance, put it on paper, then, just like each of you in Zoom, publish the vision. And now, a few pearls of wisdom. Whatever the gift that you've been given, develop it, use it, then jump out the window. When movement starts and it comes to a halt, it's okay to start over. It's okay to pivot. Remember, you're the vessel. Don't put the onus on you to make it happen or get things done. Let your faith lead you through it. So as we begin another new year, recognize and remember, each of us are living inside of prayer. This is Lady Estelle asking you to consider this.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Technical difficulties like crazy, but that doesn't matter. The message is what's important. So thank you. We'll see you down the road, okay?
Have a
Have a nice one.
Happy New Year.